Sorry. We've got, Mark.
He knows he messed up. All right, this clip of JD Vance is easily in the top 5 funniest things to happen this election cycle. So while Vance was campaigning in the state of North Carolina with roughly 11 days to go, he accidentally gave a shout out to the state's lieutenant governor. Now that may not seem like a big deal, only the lieutenant governor of North Carolina is Mark Robinson, and Mark Robinson is radioactive to the Trump campaign at the moment. Just to recap really quickly, Mark Robinson is now running in the gubernatorial race, running for the seat of the governor, and we got some messages from a porn forum that he was on a decade ago named Nude Africa, where he said he was a black Nazi, he reads Mein Kampf, he likes to pee on his wife's sister. I mean, some really deranged stuff, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. So, the Trump campaign has desperately been trying to distance himself from Mark Robinson, even getting to the point where Mark Robinson has to bring a cardboard cutout of Trump to his campaign events, and we'll get to that. But I do want to show you some clips of JD Vance campaigning today, of Trump campaigning, and contrast that with how VP Harris's campaign is going. With 11 days to go, we have no time to waste. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and let's jump in with this clip of Donald Trump calling America a garbage can last night, because I want to show you VP Harris's response. She responded to this exact clip today.
Right, and we're a dumping ground. We're like a garbage can for the world. That's what's happened. That's what's happened to our... We're like a garbage can. It's the first time I've ever said that. And every time I come up and talk about what they've done to our country, I get angrier and angrier. First time I've ever said garbage can, but you know what? It's a very accurate description.
I always ask, has this dude ever said anything good about America? I can't think of anything off the top of my head, and that's what VP Harris basically says. She says America deserves better when referring to that exact clip I just played.
I also do want to address the comment that Donald Trump made about America being the trash can of the world, whatever he said, something along those lines. It's just another example of how he really belittles our country. This is someone who is a former president of the United States, who has a bully pulpit. And this is how he uses it, to tell the rest of the world that somehow the United States of America is trash. And I think, again, the President of the United States should be someone who elevates discourse and talks about the best of who we are and invests in the best of who we are. Not someone like Donald Trump who's constantly demeaning and belittling who the American people are. America deserves better. And I'm happy to take any questions.
America deserves better. I love that line that a president needs to elevate the discourse, not constantly be dragging us down to the depths of hell. Let me play you a few clips to lay the groundwork really quickly of what JD Vance said. So Donald Trump is in Austin, Texas before going on the Joe Rogan podcast, which Kamala Harris turned down. And he says anybody that votes as a Catholic for this horrible candidate.
But if you're Catholic, you're being persecuted. Anybody that votes as a Catholic for this horrible candidate that can't put 2 sentences together. She can't speak. She can't put 2 sentences together. Can you imagine her standing with President Xi of China? I don't think so, Ken.
Okay, out of all the criticisms that you could levy, why go with the one that is so clearly, demonstrably false that she can't put 2 sentences together? It's like he literally scratched out Biden's name in these speeches and just replaced it with Kamala Harris because, you can just watch a clip. Kamala Harris can put 2 sentences together. It is just such a weak attack, and it is such clear projection. Here's Donald Trump saying that nobody had the courage of these original people in 1798.
Nicaragua group and the MS-13 other savage gangs. I'll invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Did you know that? I had to go back that far. We couldn't find anything because modern day politicians, even sort of old time, nobody had the courage of these original people. So we had to go back to 1798.
Nobody had the courage of the people in 1798 when people in America owned slaves, Here's Donald Trump saying that Jack Smith should be thrown out of the country.
And you have to get the killers, the murderers, and the mentally deranged. You have to get them out. And we should throw Jack Smith out with them, the mentally deranged people. Jack Smith should be considered mentally deranged, and he should be...
Jack Smith should be considered mentally deranged? Just listen to Trump. He sounds like the Joker. I want to read you what Trump posted on True Social. But first, let's get to this JD Vance clip that's in the title because it is absolutely hilarious. This clip happened right before he says that Kamala Harris is a crazy person.
One right now, of course, is, look, I think Kamala Harris legitimately is a crazy person. I mean, to the extent that she has any ideas, any original thoughts about how to govern this country, I think it's a disaster. We got to remember that most of our fellow citizens are not Kamala Harris, and thank God for that.
Yeah, building more housing units and incentivizing first-time homebuyers to buy housing, that's a crazy idea. Why don't we just place 200% tariffs on John Deere and other countries to nuke our economy, essentially? JD Vance, again, is going with the Republican tactic of taking any criticism that is levied against them and just flipping it back around. So Donald Trump is incoherent. Can't put two sentences together. He's crazy, and he's a threat to democracy. So they say Kamala Harris can't put two sentences together, and she's a threat to democracy when you can't demonstrate that in any way. And now here is JD Vance getting caught up after he accidentally shouts Mark Robinson out. Just it's so funny.
I want to give a shout out to, you guys have a great lieutenant governor, we've got, Mark isn't here. I want to give a shout out to, you guys have a great lieutenant governor, we've got, Mark.
He knows he messed up. That is like the no-no. You do not bring up Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. Again, he is radioactive to the Trump campaign at this moment because, you know, I was about to say Mark Robinson is so depraved that even MAGA doesn't like him, but then I remember Trump has groped or sexually assaulted 20 to 30 women and even been held civilly liable, and yet they still support him, so there are no depths when it comes to MAGA. You know, I want to replay this clip in a bit, but I do want to break down this Trump post from just a few hours ago. He posted, "Cease and desist. I, together with many attorneys and legal scholars, am watching the sanctity of the 2024 presidential election very closely because I know, better than most, the rampant cheating and skullduggery that has taken place by the Democrats in the 2020 presidential election. It was a disgrace to our nation," says Donald Trump. "Therefore, the 2024 election, where votes have just started being cast, will be under the closest professional scrutiny, and when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." There's a lot of scary stuff in here, and we're only halfway through. What attorneys and legal scholars is Donald Trump referring to? The only ones he has on his side are Sidney Powell, who's been disbarred, Rudy Giuliani, disbarred, John Eastman. He has whack job lawyers that he embraces. Also, the rampant cheating and skullduggery that you never proved. When he says, "I know about cheating more than most," he's telling the truth because he tried to pressure Mike Pence into subverting the will of the American people by getting him to choose 7 fake slates of electors, completely fake slates where people forged their signatures. He said, "Therefore, the 2024 election will be under close scrutiny, and when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." But who determines who cheated? Because all of the courts said there was no cheating. So Donald Trump is going to unilaterally decide who cheated with the help of Rudy Giuliani. I have a feeling that Jack Smith is going to end up getting locked up if that happens. I have a feeling that like Anderson Cooper, just all of these people that Donald Trump hates, probably Rachel Maddow will get locked up. We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we will. Oh, Hillary Clinton would totally get locked up too. Now here's Donald Trump calling our country a third world nation, and with the types of tariffs that Donald Trump wants to place, he's kind of bringing us in that direction more so than any other person in history. Also, trying to undermine our elections is actually third world country stuff. He then said, "Please beware that this legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials." So that is Trump right there, threatening lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. You know, I agree that if there are corrupt election officials or if there are people casting illegal votes, then yes, those votes should be written off and any corrupt officials should be prosecuted. But Donald Trump isn't talking about the same thing that we're talking about. He's not grounded in reality, because I guarantee everybody watching this video also doesn't want election fraud, but we're talking about real, substantial, demonstrable election fraud that really has never happened in an American election. Donald Trump is making up claims of widespread voter fraud, millions of votes that never were demonstrated anywhere, and the entire basis of this tweet right there is just nuked by what I said right there. No courts ever said there was election fraud, so Donald Trump is just yapping right here. He is genuinely being unhinged. I want you to watch GOP Representative Tom Emmer being asked if it's okay that Donald Trump says he wants his generals to be like Hitler's generals, and this dude refuses to answer.
Are you personally okay if Donald Trump says that he wants his generals to be like Hitler's generals?
Kate, again, Here, when you talk about this stuff, you want to talk about anything but what the American people care about. The American people care about the economy. The American people want to make sure. Yes, they do. They want to make sure that their kids have a better future.
You and I have
That's absolutely true, Kate. And by the way, it's also inappropriate for you to suggest that only Republicans are worried about this. It's all Americans. That's why you're going to find out in 11 days.
I said topping the list of voters or absolutely care about these. We're doing this thing again. All right, let's do this. The question was, let's make a deal. I ask this question, you answer it, you answer the actual question, and we'll move on to another issue. Let's try it this way. Are you personally okay if Donald Trump says that he wants his generals to be like Hitler's generals?
Americans do not want to talk about that.
Look at her reaction at the end. That is actually hysterical, and she realizes he's not going to answer.
Want to talk about that.
Disappointment. Pure disappointment. But I do like that strategy. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys think about JD Vance's funny moment in the comment section below. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.